Thank you very much, Secretary Campbell. We'll now have 5-minute rounds. Let me start, if I might. What really differentiates the United States from China, PRC, is the way that we conduct our foreign policy wrapped in our values. They conduct foreign policy based upon transactional objectives. And President Biden has made it clear that our foreign policy will be wrapped within our values. So we promote democracy, good governance, respect for human rights. China uses corruption and force, if need be, as they're threatening to Taiwan, to try to carry out their foreign policy. So my question to you, as we develop our relationship with the PRC, how do you balance our commitment to advance the values that our foreign policy is based in, not just with our direct bilateral relations with China, but in countries in which we're competing with China? How do we balance the advancement of our values that are critical to our national security with the realities that we're dealing with regimes that differ from us and are prepared to do things that we find very objectionable?
Senator, it's a great question, and I think you understand the context of it very well. I would simply say that a number of countries where we are contesting intensively, countries like Vietnam, even a country like India, a close partner, there are occasionally challenges that are presented in terms of the conduct of domestic affairs. I think the truth is that the United States, it is just intrinsic, both Democrats and Republicans raise issues of concern in every endeavor. I think that's critical. Most of our partners understand that and appreciate the need to address the issues that we raise. I would simply say that we cannot go back to a period where we place strategic interest at such a premium that we look the other way at egregious acts that cause concern to us. And I don't think that has been done. I do believe that in almost every case, the United States has been able to balance our strong foreign policy, national security interests with, as you put it, our key inherent interests in promoting democracy and human rights. And so ultimately what we're looking to do in some of these very challenging circumstances is to bend their trajectory, sometimes slightly, sometimes transformationally, in directions that that support freedom, that support democracy, and closer association with like-minded nations that we're working with on the global stage.
I appreciate that. Congress has been your partner. Sometimes we can, as an independent branch, help you advance our values where diplomats have a hard time pursuing. We've done that in trafficking in humans with our trip reports. We've done that in the sanctions, the Magnitsky and others that require you to consider personal sanctions as well as sectorial sanctions. We did that with anti-corruption in the last Congress. So we look for you to give us additional ways in which we can be helpful to advance American values, Western values, global values in our relationship with other countries. You have to set priorities. We have to set priorities. We have a limited amount of time left in this Congress, and I want you to give me how high a priority is it for the United States Senate to confirm, particularly career ambassadors, where we have so many that are vacant today. If we do that, it takes floor time, takes committee time. There are other issues we need to deal with. How high of a priority is it for you to accomplish your missions to represent us in the State Department, for us to take up and confirm the vacant positions we have now in the State Department?
So, look, it's a good point, and I do want to just underscore clearly your first issue. When Congress, when senators engage internationally, it helps us enormously. To the extent that we've had any assistance, and it's been modest at best, from China on fentanyl-related issues, it is largely because of delegations from Congress, from the Senate, going over, making the case powerfully about that this is not just an executive branch issue, it is broadly shared with the American people. When Delegation Senator Shaheen was in Britain recently engaging the new British government, they were able to hear directly bipartisan interests for why the special relationship is so important. So I will tell you that we are much more effective when you guys are engaged internationally. I support it. I very much want to see you guys out on the playing field. It helps us consequentially. To your very good point, look, I would say that, politics is a tough game. Take it out on us, the political guys. I work with wonderful people, professionals, and frankly, they deserve to be confirmed. Dorothy Shea is up in front of your committee now. She's been waiting almost 2 years. The place that really the Chinese are taking it to us is in international organizations. We have to be able to contest there. I don't like going to a country in which we sit down with the leader and we don't have an ambassador there. It hasn't been there for a couple of years. I find it embarrassing. I think it is antithetical to our strategic interests. And so, yes, I do believe we should put these folks on the field. Look, no one quarrels with strong military engagements. We have to do that. We have to invest in our military. But I think there sometimes is a tendency to underestimate how important our diplomats are in international organizations, in the global south, particularly when in small countries in Africa, they view the ambassador as the representative of the United States. Washington is distant. And so getting those people in place, I would say, is among our most important priorities. I'm sorry to go on so long on that, Chairman.
Senator Risch.